Hello and welcome to Superintendent Wrap-Up. It's good to see everyone here this week. Last week we had a lot going on. It was called sickness. We had a lot of sickness going on, and unfortunately we really hate to cancel school. We understand the importance of students being in our schools and being in front of teachers. It really came down to a staffing issue. We just simply did not have the staff to effectively and safely run school. And on Friday, I had a lot of people say, well, why didn't you make the decision earlier? Well, at 3 o'clock, we had 86 teacher absences. We had the majority of those were covered by a very strong staffing population that had already picked up the jobs. And so at 3 o'clock, we were in a position to have school. You fast forward 3 hours later, and we had nearly 130 absences. And now you're into a critical area where possibly need to start looking at canceling school. And so that's when we start to have our conversations, looking at bus routes and different things, different metrics. And that's when we decide to cancel school. So things change very quickly, and we have to be flexible and be willing to change depending on where we're at in staffing. That's why we made the later call, but wanted you to be in on that. That's the thinking and the reason behind that. I also wanted to bring you up to date on the principal selection process at the Northside Early Childhood Center. We met last week. I stopped in and said hello to the committee and let them know kind of the process. I have such a great team. Met with the committee and went over all the training that needs to happen before the selection process can begin. And the selection process will be at least 3 interviews. The first interview for those candidates will be here at the central office with Dr. Hicks, Ms. Tingle, and Mr. Moore. And then I will meet individually with each of the candidates and do a second round of interviews. And then we will take those candidates to the selection committee, and they will interview that candidate, and they will we will be there more in a advisory role, an observation role, as the committee interviews those candidates. Ultimately, I have to make the decision. By statute, the superintendent makes that decision, but I do it as a collaborative process. And so I will collaborate with that selection committee. I'll collaborate with my team here at the central office, and we will make a selection based on those meetings and that communication. Filling Ms. Swindler's shoes will be a big task, very tall order. The legacy that she left is enormous. The impact she made on this community will never be forgotten. But I know that we have a great team at Northside. I know that we have such a supportive staff. And because of the great foundation that Emily laid at Northside, the next principal will be very well taken care of, and will have all the tools necessary to continue to move Northside up. And so that's what we're really looking for. Finally, we had a great homecoming game at Shelby County High School. It was great to see all of the students out there. Good turnout, and we know that our Rockets are giving everything they've got, and we look forward to continuing to support them the rest of the year. All right, everybody, have a great week, and we'll see you next week.